An influencer tried the carnivore diet to lose weight. This is what happened to her organs. JL is a 23-year-old woman presenting to the emergency department with bloody diarrhea and an altered level of consciousness. Her mother CL tells the admitting nurse that her daughter had spent the last 3 days in the washroom with vomiting and diarrhea. And earlier that evening, JL was found unresponsive on the bathroom floor. Around 10 months ago, JL was laid off from work. She had to move into her mother's basement and couldn't find anyone who would hire her. JL had a large following on Instagram and thought it would be a good idea to spend her newfound free time becoming an influencer. The only trouble was that she had to look perfect to be able to pull it off. JL had gained around 20 pounds over the last few years and had to find a quick way to lose the extra weight. After spending days scrolling through the internet, she heard about the carnivore diet on an online forum. The members of this forum stated that humans were meant to only eat meat and that all other foods were more toxic to the body. JL always hated eating vegetables, so she thought that the carnivore diet made a lot of sense. She dove right into her new lifestyle, but spent the first 2 weeks having daily headaches and generalized weakness. But those symptoms quickly disappeared. Meats have a very low percentage of carbohydrates or sugars. JL's body was switching over from carbs as its main source of fuel to fats and to a state of ketosis. What she felt has been termed as the keto flu, where her body has to adapt to her drastic change in diet. After a few months of eating like a carnivore, JL lost 10 pounds and felt great, but she was frustrated. She had not lost enough weight. She thought that she could accelerate her weight loss if she undercooked her meat, since she had read online that cooked meat makes it easier for the body to absorb calories. And of course, raw meat must be healthier since it's more natural. JL spent the next few months progressing to eating rarer and rarer cuts of meat, but her diet was interrupted with intermittent episodes of vomiting and diarrhea. She believed that her system was cleansing all the toxins she had built throughout her lifetime. A few days before her hospitalization, JL tries cooking rare chicken for the first time. It tastes slimy, but it's better than she expects. She couldn't wait to lose the last few pounds so she could finally post to Instagram about this amazing diet. The next day, she started feeling unwell. She was having stomach cramps, vomiting, and hematochezia. Hemato standing for blood and chezia standing for defecate, bloody defecate, or in her case, bloody diarrhea. JL was unable to keep any food or water down and felt worse than ever before, but she decided to wait it out. She had recovered from all her previous episodes. She thought this would help her shed the last of her extra weight. Unfortunately, JL did not improve, and her symptoms progressed to the point where she started feeling dizzy and confused. She felt so weak, she collapsed on the floor of her washroom and was ultimately found unconscious by her mother. In the emergency department, JL has low blood pressure, high heart rate, and a fever. Due to her presenting symptoms, the emergency physician believes she is in septic shock. She is given broad-spectrum antibiotics, large volumes of intravenous fluids, and medications to improve her blood pressure. Septic shock is a condition caused by the body's reaction to a severe infection. The immune system attempts to fight the illness with a response that causes widespread inflammation. While inflammation is usually effective in mild or isolated infections, this body-wide response does more harm than good. In JL's case, these inflammatory factors cause vasodilation, which is the widening of her blood vessels. This leads to a dangerous drop in her blood pressure, and her body then responds by increasing her heart rate to help pump more blood. But her organs are also impaired due to the inflammation, and her heart doesn't work as well as it normally would. This is why the doctor gave JL more IV fluids. The dilated blood vessels cause her to have more room for fluid in her circulatory system, and this fluid can help her improve her blood pressure. She is also started on medications called vasopressors, which stands for blood vessel constrictors that help reverse the vasodilation. Think of it like a water hose. What sepsis does is increase the diameter of your water hose. IV fluids is like opening the faucet, and the vasopressors are adding a smaller end nozzle. This all leads to a stronger stream. Most important of all, JL is also started on antibiotics. If the infection is not treated, the inflammation will continue to worsen until the fluids and medications stop working and JL dies. The doctors use broad-spectrum antibiotics, which kill a wide range of bacteria. This is because they have no idea what infection they are treating. But that's like firing at the bacteria with a shotgun and hoping you don't miss. These antibiotics may treat the infection, but they also increase the risk of antibiotic resistance, so the physicians still work to find out the source as fast as possible. They need to target it with an antibiotic that acts more like a sniper rifle. JL's condition is so severe that even with the treatments, she doesn't wake up. At this point, she has over a 20% chance of dying. She is admitted to the intensive care unit, and the medical staff have to place her on the ventilator. She is not protecting her airway. That means that she is too unconscious to react if she vomits, so the vomit can go into her lungs and cause her to suffocate. The ventilator will help prevent that from happening. After days of waiting for the results, she is found to have bacteremia, or the presence of bacteria in the blood, and specifically Salmonella enteritidis. Why would JL have Salmonella in her blood? Her change in diet led directly to a foodborne infection. Salmonella is commonly associated with poorly prepared poultry or eggs. It entered her body through the badly cooked chicken she ate just a few days ago, leading to the vomiting and bloody diarrhea. But then it migrated into her bloodstream, causing her to lose consciousness, go into septic shock, and almost die. JL is treated in the ICU for a few days with more targeted antibiotics, and her symptoms rapidly improve. She is then discharged home with a final course of antibiotic pills. Her symptoms fully resolve, and she decides to return to more mainstream eating practices. The moral of this story is to properly cook your food, and try not to take online forums at face value. It's best to wait for strong scientific studies before starting a restrictive diet. In this case, we don't know all of the harms or benefits of the carnivore diet, so I would wait for more information. Thank you, and please subscribe for more.